Oh boy. Okay. Well, hello friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I certainly would be here all by myself. Now it's going to be interesting to see how many of the giant trolls we have in here tonight. They have been on me hard and heavy all summer long, and now it's time to shit or get off the toilet. Because there's Daniel. What's happening, Daniel? I see you got rid of your scary movie man there. Um, it's been an interesting week. I got to tell you what a difference a week makes. Last week when we were here, we were talking about how Zeke Elliott's legal team thought that things weren't looking good. Well, I got to tell you, they're right. Things aren't looking good for the NFL. They literally have destroyed the NFL's case. And they have, dare I say, made the NFL look like idiots. Because when the NFL came out with that statement, boy, it sounded good. You read that letter, and they're talking about we did a thorough investigation, talked to multiple witnesses, 160-page report, and we've got our panel who've looked into this thing completely and have come up with this decision. And when you read that, you thought, oh my God. In fact, a lot of the talking heads out there assumed he's guilty. Didn't matter about the courts. Didn't matter about the police department. Stephen A. Smith, Max Ketterman, and Molly, they went all in on the man is a menace to society, needs to be banned, needs to be suspended for at least a year, needed to shut up and take his punishment. It was funny today watching them because I didn't hear, maybe I missed it. I never heard any of them say, you know what, maybe we acted too fast. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we assumed the wrong thing. No. They just ignored all that. Molly was very quiet today. But they went back at the NFL. How could the NFL screw this up? Roger Goodell looks bad. He doesn't know what he's talking about. How could they botch this up? But I'm sitting there thinking that, wait a minute. Wait. You guys go in more directions than a wind vane. Anyway, the wind blows. That's where you guys are going. Now, one thing I take pride in, I got to tell you, if I screw up, if I say something wrong, if I say the Cowboys are going to kick the Giants' ass and we lose, I'm going to say, you know what? My bad. I was wrong. I'm an idiot. If I'm going to accuse somebody of something because it looks like that and I'm wrong, like Lucky Whitehead, I'm going to say I apologize. I believe I have ethics when it comes to what I try and put out. But apparently a lot of these people really just don't. And that's sad because I think about what ESPN used to be. ESPN used to be the leader, the gold standard when it came up to sports. They were the first ones to come out there and become the all 24-hour a day complete news organization. And it was funny today because, it's holiday, I was off. And me and my wife were watching First Take, and she was going, what is this? Do they always act like this? I said, honey, unfortunately, ESPN and Fox Sports and all that, they've turned into reality shows. It's not about trying to point out what's happening and the facts. It's about who can yell the loudest and make a crazy argument. When you start watching all those things, Stephen A. Smith, and you can't stay off the weed and just relentlessly going after the Cowboys, that's what it's become. For entertainment purposes only. It's not real news anymore. So, now, we're getting a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff on the whole situation. And I don't know that I really want to go through all of it because a lot of people have commented and say, hey, how come you haven't done a video about Lucky Whitehead? and Tiffany. And it's kind of like, you know what? We got it. We understand there's a lot of shit going on here. And it's not looking good for Tiffany. It's not looking good for Zeke. It's just bad all the way around. But here's the thing I will say. Because on First Take, they were saying, Zeke Elliott used drugs in college. He did some bad things. Yes, he did in college. He did. But as Joe Mixon proved, it doesn't matter what you do before you get to the NFL. Because he punched a woman in the face, and it's on videotape, but NFL can't do anything about that. So, yeah, it looks bad. When Zeke says she tried to get pregnant or she got pregnant to kind of trap me, when you find out that Tiffany was sleeping with Lucky Whitehead and sending him pictures, it's just bad all the way around. But if I'm the NFL at this point, you got to just drop it. You need to just get away from this thing. It's become radioactive, and no matter what you do, it's no win. You either have to say, we still believe he's guilty with everything that you got from Tiffany, being it's only Tiffany, and over here is everybody else. You got to cut and run. Leave it alone. Move on. Say my bad. But what the NFL really needs to do is stop trying to be the police, the court system, the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Stick to what you do great. Football. Concentrate on that. If a person is arrested and charged with a crime and found guilty, you need to throw the book at them. But you can't be your own legal branch. I know you make as much money as some countries do, but you're not your own country. You're not the Vatican. You can't make up your own laws and rules. Because when you get it wrong, and when you guys completely go totally different what everybody else found, you look like idiots. Flat out. So let this be a lesson, because you guys have botched up too many of these. I look at guys like Gillette for the Redskins. Didn't he get tased this past summer? Didn't he have domestic violence? Didn't he only get 2 games? And this is somebody who was arrested and convicted. But Zeke Elliott, you suspended him 6 games and he was never even charged? I don't know how that makes sense. But the NFL, you guys just got beat. And it's amazing because they not only found the girl who was in the fight with Tiffany, they found a guy who took pictures of Tiffany and Zeke at the club, who saw her the next day in a bathing suit, bikini. Said didn't see any bruises. So that's where we are with that situation. And tomorrow, 5 o'clock, the court system has a hearing on whether or not the restraining order will take effect and whether there's a stay in all of this. Oh, my goodness. Actually, sorry about that. I've actually changed up on computers, and I don't have all of my screenshots in there, so I'm going to reload those. I do not play fantasy football, and there's a reason to that, David, and I apologize, and I know it's popular. I'm old, first of all, but it's just something wrong with having to pick players from other teams. I mean, I couldn't pick a Washington Redskins player. I couldn't root for them to do well. It's just something that's wrong with that whole premise. So I can't help you with the whole fantasy football. Because the problem would be is I pick my whole offense. But that's where we'll go with fantasy football. So I'm not in any leagues and so on. So, I can't do it all. But Some of the other interesting news for our Dallas Cowboys, because believe it or not, we do have a game this week. We're not talking about practice now. We're talking about a game. And that is with the New York stinking Giants. And we've got a lot of news that's going on. First thing, Calvin No More is back in Dallas, fighting for the backup role. I know a lot of you, just like my son Michael over there, is just going shaking his head. But hey, we can't go in with just two quarterbacks on the roster, and signing somebody else, they've got to learn the system. So at least there's familiarity with the season. Now, I'm going to say this much. If we go through Dak and we lose him, if we go through Rush and lose him, the season's already over. It's not going to matter. So I'm okay with that. Other news, starting guard. Right now, it looks like Chaz Green has the inside track on that. He's played well in spots, but the problem with Chaz Green, he's big, he can move. But the problem with Chaz is staying healthy and staying on the field. I'm going to get some flack when I compare him to this. But it's kind of like Tony Romo. Plays great when he's there, but can you count on him day in and day out? And thus far, Chaz Green has not been a guy you can count on day in and day out. So there's that. Jordan Lewis is back at practice. He's missed most of training camp and everything else, but he is back to practicing. Being a rookie, not having much time in the system, you don't know how much he's going to be able to do. There's going to be a steep learning curve with our defensive backfield and our defense. They're very, very young. But I feel better about having these young guys than what we have. That actually brings me to a point here. Chris Sims. Can somebody tell me how this man's become the expert? He's all over Bleacher Report like, he is the second coming of, I don't know, but like he is the be-all, end-all of knowing everything. Because I keep looking at his stuff. Somehow his preseason ranking going into week 1, still has the New York stinking Giants as the third best team in the NFL. And I keep scratching my head. I know they've got a great defense, and they look fantastic against the Jets and Cleveland. But that offense? Really? They keep talking about Brandon Marshall's different maker, but Brandon Marshall's been going downhill for a while. Brandon Marshall's in his 30s. He didn't show up very well last year. I know it was with the Jets. But are you sure about that offense? That offensive line can't protect Eli, and they can't run the ball. And Eli turns the ball over a lot. So the only way that you're thinking that the Giants team are the third best team in the league is that defense is going to have to score about 14 points a week. Now, again, I may be wrong because I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. And I could be deemed a homer, because I am all in for the Cowboys. But I just don't see the Giants as the third best team in the NFL. In fact, I think the Giants are going to be taking a big step back. I don't think the Giants are going to be a playoff team. And that's one of my predictions for the season. But we'll find out this week what we have. Now, Odell Beckham, question will be will he play? He was there at practice, riding a stationary bike. So more than likely, I think he's going to play. The question will be how effective will he be? How good will that ankle be? Especially since he hasn't played in practice in weeks. So that's kind of a downer for them. Brandon Marshall is back at practice, and supposedly his shoulder's doing great. So we'll get into the matchups later on in the week and some other videos and stuff. But the Giants are hurt. They're in a bad way on that offense, and I think they're going to have some problems. Now, it'll be interesting to see, of course, because anything can happen in football. How they play, how we play, coming out the gate. Now, one other thing I want to caution you about, too. I'm old, and don't think that I'm saying it to be derogatory of myself. I am proud that I'm 50 years old, or 50, going to 52. That I've seen a lot, experienced a lot, and I feel blessed that I'm still here because I have a lot of friends who aren't, and there's a lot of people that are a lot younger than me that aren't here. So when I say I'm old, I'm kind of being glad about that. But I've seen a lot of football. And the amazing thing is every year there's a couple of teams that come out the gates and they look like, boom, the best team since the 85 Bears for the first month. And then there's other teams that come out that look just like crap. And you're like, oh man, they're headed for a high first round draft pick. But what happens is, come October, the real teams start to emerge. The good teams start playing a lot better. You remember Aaron Rodgers, the first couple of weeks in the season last year, they were talking about, oh man, maybe the coach should be fired. Maybe, Aaron Rodgers has lost it, but then they turned it on towards the end of the season. Forever, the Cardinals have started out 4-0, only to end up like 5-11. So don't get too excited and don't get too upset the first month of the season. You really don't know what that team is going to be. So I believe between the suspensions we have, David Irving, Damian Wilson, Demontre Moore, we're going to be getting some guys back as the season goes on that are going to kind of help in our rotation. So I believe we'll be getting better, especially with that defense having more and more time to get those guys on the field playing, as a team and stuff. The rookies, that have missed a lot of time in training camp. If you look at a guy like Anthony Brown, who was forced into starting, he was okay beginning of the season, but he steadily got better to the point of yards per completion given up. He was one of the top guys the last half of the season. So that all bodes well for our team and things that our team will get better as the season goes on. Let me go ahead and give some shout outs to you guys. I've been just running my mouth here because there's been so much going on with the Dallas Cowboys. I literally feel like my head has been on a swivel just trying to keep up with everything. And Robert, want to say hello to Robert, Curtis, Reset Button, The Grain, seeing a lot of new people. Salvador, Raymond, Paul, there's my girl Sarah, David Cook, Danny MTZ. Seriously, you're the only Cowboy fan I love. Well, I appreciate that, man. Robert, Glenn, Jake, Kyle, Corey, Devin, Jason P, LK, LBK, Boomer Sooner. Forgive me, I don't have my glasses on because the glare gets in here and all that stuff. Sometimes it's hard to read these. Jason, Dallas Cowboys for life. Kyle Wilson, Raymond, Sandman. How you doing tonight, Sandman? Tobias from Argentina. Shout out to Argentina. Robert, Paul, Jake, Donald Trump. What are you doing about North Korea there, Donald? L. George, Salvador, Corey. There's Jackie. There's my other girlfriend there. David Cook. How you doing tonight, Jackie? JC Love, Marcellus, TM Skills, Robert, Dak. Oh, Corey, Jay Menefield, Green Dan. Wow. Jermaine, Brandon, where are all the wait, hold on. What the? Where's Cruisin'? Chlorine Bleach. Holy Ways. Where are all the trolls tonight? This is what we've been waiting for. You guys have been hot and heavy in here all off season. That was just practice, man. We're talking about a game now. And you guys aren't here yet? What the hell? There's Jam, there's Steven, there's Tech Screwhead. Oh boy. Jackie, I'm with you that we're going to have Kelvin Moore back on the roster. But hey, like I said, hopefully it won't come down to Kellen Moore. It is what it is. I mean, we had butt fumble last year. Sarah, I'm with you. I cannot wait for this game. I'm glad Monday is almost in the books. Tomorrow's already Tuesday. And going on a little trip tomorrow. It's going to be actually kind of cool. Um, you just follow along tomorrow, and you guys will enjoy what we're doing. I do a lot of work and stuff with United Way and things, and tomorrow morning we'll be flying out. So I'll share that with you guys tomorrow. We'll follow along the whole trip, so be ready for that. We got Michael, and let's see some of the questions you got. That rum, telling the truth, I need a shot of that rum. Oh, yeah. Actually, Joe Boo needs a refill. I am literally losing it. A lot of people ask me, what kind of rum do I drink? Well, it depends on my mood. Um, Joe Boo, I always try and give him some good stuff. Some of the best rums are actually Guatemalan. This is Zaya rum. It's 12-year-old. It's very smooth. It's actually not a shot rum. It's actually like a sipping rum. So, you can throw it down if you want to. Um, some people would end up cussing me out because I'll put it in a rum and coke. But it's a very, very smooth rum. A new one that I got. Oh, this is for special occasions only. And literally, I had to run all over to all the ABC stores to finally get it. It's actually Ronzapia, and I may mispronounce that XO. And it's a blend of different rums. It's 6 to 25-year-old rums that are aged in cognac barrels. And it's supposedly very, very smooth. So this will only be a game day rum for Joe Boo for some extra mojo. But a really good everyday rum that I like is actually Oak Barrel by Bacardi. Very smooth, easy drinking and stuff. Great rum and cokes and mixed drinks and things. And if you want to actually have a good shot and you're not enjoying that burn, get yourself some coconut rum. And, God, it's blue sriracha. I mispronounce that because I'm a name butcher. It's what I do. But it's the blue colored alcohol. And put half and half and call it a Joe Boo Cowboy shot. It's smooth as can be, great taste, easy on the throat. So that's what I do as far as rum goes. So Joe Boo's got his refill and we're good to go. Green Day and fake news. Okay. Buchanan's Master, Mr. Holmes, try to like it. Okay, I'll have to try that one. I actually tried some Texas whiskey that's actually made in Waco, Texas at the ABC store because they were giving out samples yesterday. And I thought about maybe Joe Boo should look at getting some Texas whiskey because, that's from Texas. Hey, maybe there could be actually an endorsement there. But Joe Boo's a rum man. Raymond, I'm hoping, I would love to see that. The thing I like about Taco, Raymond saying that Taco's going to be in Eli's face, I think Taco's going to do a lot better than people are expecting from a rookie. It's hard for a rookie to become a dominant pass rusher. It just is. There are very few Reggie Whites out there. However, the thing I love about Taco, and I loved about it when I talked about him, for the Cowboys to draft him, is his first step. He's got a very quick step. It doesn't show up on the 40 because the 40 is totally different. But his first step and his instinct of getting across the line of scrimmage. When I looked at the Ram game and I started looking at the pictures and stuff that I took in there, you're seeing him literally a yard ahead of everybody else on the defensive line. He was that quick while the ball was still in the air going to the quarterback. And with that step, he's getting in a great position against that offensive lineman. It's hard for that offensive lineman to step back with that first step and to be able to recover, to be able to take on that rush. Generally speaking, that offensive lineman is off balance because he's trying to get that other foot back. So you're catching this side. You have a smaller target that they're able to hit. And with that first step, it's kind of like DeMarcus Ware, who would come around and would end up swatting the ball. As he gets his feet and gets his balance together on that move because he's taking on bigger and bigger offensive linemen that are getting a bigger push, he's going to be a dominant pass rusher. I can't say it's going to be this year, but you watch down the road, he is going to be a beast. And I'm looking forward to our defense. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was back to Chris Sims. I'm old. I've had a bunch of concussions, and I get forgetful. But Chris Sims is another one of those idiots that keeps talking about our defense lost so many players. And the quote he had is, how are they going to cover anybody because they lost Morris Claiborne, the number 1 draft pick, and Brandon Carr. Dude, you do realize that Morris Claiborne only played the first 7 games of the season and came back for the game against Green Bay and proceeded to have a 15-yard penalty and then proceeded to get hurt all in the first half and didn't play second half and was completely ineffective. So you're saying we can't play without that guy? Brandon Carr, great guy. Met him, works, does a lot of stuff in the community. Brandon Carr was not a guy who was going to wow you. He wasn't Darrelle Revis when Revis was Revis Island. He was just an all right cornerback. Nothing spectacular. Wasn't going to get you 4 or 5 interceptions in a season. I don't think he had 4 or 5 interceptions in his career here at Dallas. So you're saying that our defense is going to be bad because we lost those guys? And you get paid to do this? Come on, man. That's just throwing some shit on the wall and seeing if it sticks. So I wonder sometimes, the more I watch and listen to the experts out there, what the hell are you guys getting paid for? So it is what it is. Somebody was saying that everything's kind of slow developing in here, and I apologize for that. Looks like we've got Law Nation coming into the house. Let's see if we got a video tonight with him. Oh, we got video. Hold on, Law, while my TV gets warmed up. We got Law Nation coming on. And guys, if you don't know who Law Nation is, come out from under the rock, because Law Nation is one of the best YouTubers out there, and he is joining us tonight. Law Nation, how you doing tonight, man?
Nothing to it, man. Just trying to make it, trying to get everything set. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, we can definitely hear you, man. Everybody, welcome in Law Nation into the house. Man, it's been a crazy week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, man. It's been one of those crazy things. I just made it back from the road. Hey, this team's looking pretty good. I just finished looking at, too, as well, Jake Elliott's tape.
Uh-huh.
He's official, man. He's official.
All right, you heard it from Law Nation. Well, Law, we've got the big hearing tomorrow, 5 o'clock. I think the NFLPA knocked it out the park on the NFL. I feel like the NFL needs to try and walk away from this thing as quickly as they can, because it's become radioactive. What's your thoughts on what do you think the NFL is going to do? Because we're still waiting. We're still waiting for Harold Henderson to actually rule, but the NFLPA decided, you know what? While we got you on the run, we're going to keep on charging at you, and we're going to throw the court at you.
Yeah, the thing is, they have to have the ruling in before 2 o'clock. So if by them having it at 5, then that means Zeke Elliott is going to be able to play against the Giants.
Well, and that's what my assumption was, and that's what I figured a while ago, that Zeke Elliott was going to be playing this game regardless of what happened at the hearing. One way or the other, he was going to take it to court. And man, it's literally become a soap opera out here on this thing. The more stuff I hear, the more I'm like, oh, because this is not a good look for anybody. The NFL, Zeke Elliott, Tiffany Thompson, I can't see anybody coming out of this better off. Can you?
Nah, nobody going to come better off with this, man. It's just a mudslinging at this time, and everybody's getting muddy. I will say the other word, but I'm going to try to keep it PG-13.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. We are still have a few younger fans out there, so shout out to all the younger fans. Next shout out to all the fans. But the thing I don't understand is, if the NFL only had one person talk to them, she had to go back and tell him, look, this is some shit. It's not going to work. Why in the world did they keep pressing this thing? They had nothing to gain by doing it. You know, if there was any shadow of a doubt that this thing could turn and backfire on you, why keep going after this thing?
public opinion, man. It's so crazy because of the Ray Rice scenario, and they just got hit so hard with that. But they should just say, hey, after reviewing everything with the Tiffany lady, just too much inconsistency to save face. We're just gonna let this one slide through, but we're gonna give Zeke Elliott a warning. That'd be the best thing I would have done.
Now, I would love to be able to just read the NFL's 160 pages because the people that Zeke's people brought out. I mean, the guy who was at the club took pictures, saw Tiffany the next day in a bikini, said there were no bruises there. You got the girl who was in the fight with Tiffany there.
Mhm.
You got all these people that, if the NFL talked to them, they should have known that there's nothing there.
Yes, indeed. But the stupidity is too as well as on Zeke. I'm not calling him an angel. You know
Oh,
that
no,
that
no,
chick
no,
was
no.
kind of crazy. And the engine is running and no one's behind the wheel. But with that being said, I need Zeke to stay focused. And then by him coming out saying that, yeah, I smoked a little weed and I had a little crack cocaine or whatever, what it was, powder, whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
it just shines a positive light as far as him coming forth, being honest and positive, but it also, you already know how it goes with the
Well, see,
Cowboys.
here's the thing. Actually, him bringing that stuff out, with him putting himself in a bad light, makes you feel more credible. If I'm going to say that, look, she got pregnant and had an abortion, okay?
Hmm.
If he says that I did drugs in college, I'm not an angel. To me, that says, okay, I put stuff out there that I don't want people to know about because I am being truthful. And when you hear Tiffany talking about people got jewelry that hanging out with him and stuff I've seen on Instagram, it's kind of like, what? And then you start hearing about the whole Lucky Whitehead thing and her sending text messages showing the receipt from the hotel with Lucky's name on it and her name. I mean, it's just like, are you kidding me, NFL? This is your case? Listen, I've been married to my second wife for going on 15 years.
Right.
One thing I've learned is you choose your battles. You're only
Hmm.
going to win so many of them. And make sure the ones you choose are the ones you can win. Because when you can't win them, oh, man, you're going to look like
Hmm.
crap. And that's where the NFL is right now. Because I can see some of these other cases. And I know maybe with Zeke Elliott, they figured if we can get Zeke Elliott, then we can say that nobody's above reproach. I get that. But you got to at least make sure it's something that you can win.
Yeah, you got to take a calculated risk when you're the NFL. You got to know when to take, your battles, and you went after Tom Brady, although
Oh,
you guys quote unquote probably
yeah.
thought you guys won that, but the PR and the mudslinging with that deflated other footballs and inflated other football, whatever it may have been. You should have learned your lesson. But now you're going to go after Ezekiel Elliott, one of the prominent rookies of last year, and you think you're going to get a good spin or a good view on that. Look, it's just crazy because I looked at the report earlier that Lisa Friel, whatever her name is,
Mm-hmm.
hell, she got fired from her last job for
I didn't hear that
withholding
one.
evidence and stuff like that. So
Oh,
the lady kind of fickle in her own mind.
wow. I didn't know about that. Okay. Well, that's some new news. Well, hopefully we get the injunction and maybe Harold Henderson will be proactive and kind of say that we've reconsidered on this one and we're just going to give Zeke Elliott a warning and just kind of drop it and see if this whole thing just disappears. Because I don't really think they want to get this thing in court because I think the NFLPA smells blood in the water and they're going for the jugular of the NFL because of that collective bargaining agreement that's coming up. The two of them need each other, but they definitely want to be the top dog, both of them. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Now, we've got, of course, a game, man. We are finally ready to talk about a game on the field, not a practice game. We're talking about a real game.
Right.
How are you feeling about this Giant game?
I predicted 31 to maybe 14 earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, I made a video earlier about my reservations about the defensive back in the secondary.
Yeah.
We know that when you have younger, talented players, although they're athletic, although they got the skill set to play out there in the backfield,
Right.
it still takes a time for that continuity to gel. And the one thing that I didn't see during the preseason is them being healthy and staying out there on the field. So Could the score be a little bit off? Yeah, but I'm still thinking that we're going to put up 31 points. I think this offense is going to be superb. And if we go with the old philosophy since 2014 of running the ball, running the ball, running the ball, running the ball,
Mm-hmm.
running the ball, then
Ball
hopefully
control.
it can just get these secondary to gel together, and hopefully we just come out with the W.
Well, one thing I always say, or at least I kept saying this last year, because especially the first half of the season, everybody kept saying Dak Prescott's a dink and dunk quarterback, regardless that he was fourth in the yard in yardage per completion. My statement was this offense, by design, is a ball control offense, not a typical ball control offense, which was just straight running the ball. It was a balanced ball control offense. It wasn't about trying to hurry up and score as quick as you could. It was about taking your time, wearing out the defense, and keeping your defense off the field. And to prove that, when you start looking at how the Cowboys offense played the first half versus the second half, that offense literally wore out defenses. When you get Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick and Zach Martin, those guys leaning on you for 2 or 3 quarters, consistently pounding, on you, by the fourth quarter, you don't want to play anymore. I know there were games when you play, you wish there was a fifth quarter because you're just knocking the crap out of a guy. There are other games that you're in halftime, it's like, I don't want to go back out there. And I feel like most defenses at halftime, they didn't want to go back out there. So that offense is better suited being the 5-6 yards with Zeke, and then passes to Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, and slowly marching down the field and protecting that defense. Now I think it's going to change though with Des Bryant and Dak. I think we're going to be throwing a lot more deep passes in there, and I think that's going to be one of the best combinations in the NFL this year.
Hands down, yeah. Dak Prescott got a thing to prove out there, and my guy Dez Bryant, he got a thing to prove because everybody being disrespectful to him, not putting him on the top 5 wide receiving core. But we will see, what he's going to bring to this team come Saturday. I mean Sunday. What is it? Sunday night, right? Sunday night, right?
Sunday night football,
Sunday night,
man.
Come Sunday night, we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be locked and loaded.
Yeah, we will.
Get your popcorn ready.
We're definitely going to be. I'll be pregame, halftime, and postgame. With that, we may end up changing our Friday night live streams to Thursday nights or something rather with the season coming through, so that way I can spend more time with Mama. And guys, if you're not married yet or you don't have a significant other or have put a ring on it, understand you better take care of Mama. Okay, you better take care of the honey-do list. Okay,
right,
and keep her happy. Have Friday night as date night, so that way come Sunday you got the whole day. So we may end up changing that.
Because the women, they never understand. I said, baby, the game is only on 3 hours. I just need 3 hours on a Sunday,
Oh, man.
But they don't understand it, so you got to butter them up through the whole entire week, to get there.
Well, I tell you what.
So it starts today.
I tell you what, for me on Saturday, the wife decided that she wanted to clean out the attic. Okay?
Right.
We've been in this house for 15 years. We have boxes of stuff that she had before we got married that were never even open. And I think they got moved in from the place before she moved in with me. But she decided Saturday she wanted to go ahead and clean that. And Saturday was all hell breaking loose with the Zeke Elliott situation, cut down day and all. I'm like, this is the day you wanted to do this? Really? But be that as it may, I got everything. Every closet in this house is now clean. I've got her closet done upstairs for her. There's nothing less on the honey-do list. So I will be focused in on the Cowboys all this week and this weekend. And I can't wait. What is your biggest key for this game? If the Cowboys do X, they definitely get a victory.
Hey, almost sound like Jason Gary. Got to win 3 phases of the game. We got to do something with this offense. They got to get down there. I looked at the first game last year. We got to the money zone, green zone, red zone, but we didn't punch it in. We had I don't want to see Dan Bailey. That's what the point is. I do not want to see Dan Bailey. I want us to get out there and score touchdowns. If not, then we're doing the same thing because Eli Manning, he's one of those guys. He's like a college quarterback at heart.
Right.
He plays with momentum. You guys saw what happened to UCLA versus Texas A&M, I believe, this weekend. It's all about momentum, and that's what Eli Manning lives on. The last 2 games that we played him, he got the momentum. He had the momentum going with the the first game had the momentum going with the Odell. I think that's his name. First game. He caught that long pass and got
Odell,
the field, and he didn't score a touchdown, but he caught it. That was the first game.
He got us on the second game.
Odell caught the pass across the middle against our guy Brandon Hughes' car. So it's just going to be things like that we cannot happen to have this weekend.
But see, that's what kills me is, I'm just sitting there thinking that it really doesn't take much knowledge to be one of the talking heads.
Mm-hmm.
Because all I keep hearing is the Dallas Cowboys won't be able to cover anybody because they lost Morris Claiborne and Brandon Carr. And I keep saying, are we talking about the same guys? Morris Claiborne, who didn't even play in 9 of the games? You saying we can't play without that guy? Chris Sims has been all over the Giants being the third best team in the NFL. And I still kind of say, how do you get that? I mean, I'm of course going to say the Cowboys should be higher than 8 because, I'm going to be a homer because I'm a Cowboy blogger and Cowboy fan. But I'm just going to try and be realistic. And I know preseason doesn't mean a whole lot, but did the Giants actually score a touchdown in preseason?
They started scoring towards the end, but it was just crazy, I don't think the Giants' offense have the continuity like for quote unquote like we have our continuity with our offense. So just as well as they were saying with our defense and the rookies and all that stuff, I just don't see the Giants just snapping their fingers and getting the continuity going. So it is what it is, man. Hey, your boy,
how about the Cowboys? Yeah, I'm looking at that. But yeah, the whole Kelvin Moore re-signing. Okay, here's the thing. And people are pissed off. Michael, my son over here, he's like, man, he stinks. Rush is a better quarterback. But here's the problem. You can't just go out to Walmart or Kmart or on the corner and just say, I'm going to get a quarterback and bring him in. They don't exist. At least Moore knows the system and has an idea. We've gone out there before and we've signed the Brandon Whedons, had him in our system for a year or so, and he couldn't win a game. We went out and got a veteran like Matt Castle and brought him in, gave up a draft pick for him, and how'd that work out?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, okay, the bottom line is this. If you lose your starting quarterback for any length of time, the season's over with. It's flat out. Nobody has 2 or 3 good quarterbacks sitting on the roster. So,
true that. I just looked at it like that Scott Linehan probably crying and saying, hey, man, I want my son back on the roster.
Well, that could be true,
He had to go to the somebody, Will McClay or somebody, and say, hey, I did a favor for you guys. You guys got to get my son back on the roster. He's experienced. He knows the playbook. He can put the quarterback in tight situations. He can, I guess, situational play.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the brightest out here. He's been in the system for 3 years with me in Detroit and then 2 years with us here. That's over 5 years, whatever it may have been. I don't know the years, but he knows the offense like the back of his hand.
Right.
But the thing is with Kellen, I looked at him. When you look at him play out there,
no confidence.
See that he knows where to put the ball in, but he just don't have the longitudinal attitude to get it there.
No, to me, what he lacks is confidence. And see, in football, and that's what I try to tell people because football is not like any other sport. Football is right now. That much can be the difference between a sack and a touchdown. That first step. You have to know where you can't think. You got to just know and react. And to me, he doesn't have confidence of what he's doing. He's too worried about, am I going to screw up? And that moment of hesitation is all it takes to screw up. It's a self-fulfilling philosophy. And sometimes you'll see a guy who has it all 1 year, and all of a sudden he just loses that confidence and just can't do things. Kickers, famous for it. Once that thing sets and you have that doubt, you're screwed. And maybe that can come back. But if we're down to needing our third-string quarterback, although we did last year.
Right.
Okay. If we're in that position again, well, we're probably going to be screwed. But it is what it is. But cruising 26. Of course you're scared of Odell. You're going to tell me you're not scared of Zeke?
Right. It's a reverse effect,
I mean, seriously, I'll be honest. I have said it before. I said Odell is an incredible game-changing player. You know?
And he can. And this right here. Odell is the only person we're scared about, though. We're not scared of nobody else on the
I mean, Brandon Marshall is a good receiver, but I think Brandon Marshall's on the downhill side. You know, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, they added Brandon Marshall to it," but passing wasn't your problem last year. It was running and blocking. Mm-hmm. So that puts fans in the stand thinking that, well, we're going to be lighting up the ball and scoring more touchdowns. But no, I don't really think it does. But the thing about Odell, and like I've said before, I wouldn't want an Odell on my team because Odell is too me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because when everything is going great, it's like, everybody, look at me. I'm the greatest in the world. Praise me. Praise me. But when the shit hits the fan, he checks out and becomes a distraction. When you look at him with Josh Norman, he let Josh Norman get into his head where Josh Norman wasn't covering him. He was dropping the ball, just flat out. He's out there having penalty after penalty. He's one of the most fined players in the NFL. Well, he got picked up.
He got picked up by Josh Norman.
Yeah.
Hey, but you ain't have to talk about that game. If people now cruise on 26. Go back to that Minnesota game when that boy Xavier Rhodes put that lockdown on him. Boy.
Right. Yeah. So he's and when he's on, he is hell on wheels. But just as many games that he's on, he can check out and hurt your team as opposed to helping you. So, yeah, I'm, of course, worried about him. If you're not worried about him, then you're an idiot and shouldn't be doing anything as far as football goes. He is a game-changing player. I worry about him. Yes, I'm scared.
But at the same time, they got to worry about number 11. They got to worry about number 82.
Right.
They got to worry about number 88. They even got to worry about number 83 if he can get out of bounds.
And that's where we've got strength on
He's
strength.
Number 21.
And I'm thinking, honestly, I believe the Cowboys have been focusing in on that team all off season. I think that team has left a bad taste in their mouth, and I think that they're going to be focused and playing with a chip on their shoulder. In fact, I think this season, when you look at what's happened with Zeke, like I said, Zeke, if I have any advice, I don't know if we have any Dallas Cowboys people that are players or anything that listen to this or whatever, or friends of them and things, I will say this much, Zeke. You're probably going to be dodging a bullet right now, okay? Don't be O.J. Simpson. O.J. dodged the bullet and then proceeded to break into the place that's got more cameras per capita than any place in the world to steal his own shit. Okay? Don't be Greg Hardy, who got off, and then proceed to be a jackass on the field and going after Des Bryant and your own coaches. Lay low. Take this as a learning experience. Work on your brand because the money you have on the field is peanuts to what you can make out there in endorsements. And it's not like it can't be done because take a look back, because the great thing about Google is you can go back and Google this. But Google, God damn, I'm got a brain fart. Linebacker from Denver. God, Brandon Marshall. He was another one that domestic violence. God,
the one that wears the glass.
Yeah, Von Miller. Take a look at Von Miller, some of the stuff that he was doing, because he was another one of those guys who couldn't stay off the weed, had some violent issues and stuff like that. Now he's everywhere. So you can work on your brand and turn it around. And I had a thought here where we're talking about Zeke, and I kind of got sidetracked because, I'm getting old, forgetful, and had too many concussions. But there was a point to all of this besides giving some advice to Zeke. And maybe you can remember.
What happened now as far as...
I'm sorry, I just kind of lost. I was trying to give Zeke some advice in case there was any Cowboys that were watching and all that. But there was a point to all of this, and I can't remember what the point was. I just kind of lost focus here.
Well, Zeke can take advice from two. I think Hollywood.
Yeah.
You look at his career.
Mm-hmm.
You can just look at Mike, Irvin's career.
Right.
In his prime, man, Mike Irvin just left so much out there on the field.
Oh, definitely.
And he could have had even more gothy numbers,
Right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Now we got also one other thing too. We got Zach Martin's contract has been basically put on hold till the off season. How about them Cowboys? Well, I did a video earlier today. I was over by RFK Stadium and talking about basically the history of football. I get a lot of flack because I'm in DC area because a lot of people say you can't be a real Cowboy fan and not be from Dallas. And I said that's a bunch of crap because we've got people right now on air that are from Argentina, from England, from Germany, and all across our country that are Dallas Cowboy fans that are diehard. And my whole premise is it takes an even bigger Cowboy fan in the face of being in Washington or Philadelphia or New York to show that you're a Cowboy fan. The question was about Preston Marshall, if he had actually not been a racist. Would Joe Boone be in a Redskin uniform? I don't know about that one because for me, the love of football became wanting to be like my dad. And it was my dad who fought against the Washington Redskins because, like I was saying about the Chicken Bowl and stuff like that. I don't know. It would all depend on who he had rooted for. But at the moment, I'm happy to be a Dallas Cowboy fan and have been for all my life. It's interesting when you start looking at football. The whole Colin Kaepernick thing, I still can't believe that he is not on a team.
Right. I mean, when you talk to older people, for instance, my old man Pops, a lot of them like the Redskins or the Washington, the team Washington, if we want to be political correct. He liked it because Doug Williams, and
Doug
that
Williams
goes
is a great
back
guy.
to the fact that, Doug Williams wasn't given the chance to play, opposed to what his talent and his skill set really was, But he was the first guy, one of the first brothers to get it out there and win that Lombardi. So it's a lot of sentiment, man, when you're talking about older history and why you fall in love for a team. Just like we remember Warren Moon, a lot of people from the Houston area loved the Warren Moon era, when he was down there. So, or the Seattle, So it just goes back to a lot of things of why people would like a certain team. And it's not because of homerism or because you're from a city, you got to love this team and all that. It's just who you root for and who you fall in love with.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's true. And that's where I say people who say that you have to root for the hometown team. Well, when you look at NFL, Florida's got 3 teams. Texas has 2 teams. New York has got 3 teams. Pennsylvania's got 2 teams. California's got 4 teams? 3 they got 4 at the moment. One's going to Vegas. So what are the other states supposed to do? They don't have a team that's local. Are they just not supposed to be football fans? I mean, seriously. And especially today, it made sense when I grew up because there wasn't ESPN, there wasn't the NFL Network, there wasn't the Red Zone, so you really only saw the hometown team. But now with the internet, you see everything. So I think it's a whole bunch of hogwash. And one thing I try and do here is I try and educate people and try and give people a different point of view and give you something different than just the same old rehash stuff that we always see. You can watch any NFL, ESPN show, and you're going to get the same response out of every single one. And I think it's kind of like, if this is the company line, this is what we're talking about today. The Dallas Cowboys and Zeke Elliott are evil, and it's a culture problem. And it's every single one
all the time. The mundane wash down. ESPN was good when it was just a highlight. Remember ESPN all they did was highlight. That was the best time,
I truly missed it because I was watching, like I was saying earlier before you came on, I was watching First Take with my wife, and she's like, "This is really a sports show?" I said, "Honey, it's turned into a reality show. It's for entertainment purposes only. It's who can yell the loudest and come up with the biggest take." The thing that bothered me was the whole lead was Zeke Elliott took drugs. Okay, you know what?
Right.
In college? Yeah. But here it is. We got Joe Mixon who punched a woman in the face and it was on videotape, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's the whole hypocrisy of it.
It's that this is Ron Jaworski, ESPN News. The Dallas Cowboys will be ranked at the bottom last. All that crap,
Yeah, well, I tell you what, silly, Ron Jaworski actually is a little bit more even-keeled and a little bit more honest than some of these other guys. When you sit here listening to Max Ketterman and Molly, they're straight for the Giants, and it's always, screw. It really bugged me how they were all in that Zeke was guilty and everything else. They basically said Zeke just needs to shut up, take his suspensions, and move on and everything else. And I'm kind of like, what happened to you guys reporting the news as opposed to being your own opinions? Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is another one. I'm sorry, Lewis.
Oh man, that Skip Bayless is just as worse,
Skip is
man.
just as bad. He may claim to be a Cowboy fan, but he's a fan of getting clicks. Between
Hey,
him,
shout out to Colin Preston though. Joy is the best one out of everybody out of them shows. Cause Molly, I can't stand her. I can't stand Stephen A. Smith. I can't stand Max Kellerman. And then Max, whatever the guy's name, and I can't stand Shannon Sharp.
oh, you mean Mr. Ed? Skip. Jesse said he has posted a video earlier with some of the information that isn't mainstream. Check it out and keep True Blue. We'll check that out. I got to be honest. I almost don't want to see any more of the stuff. I mean, it just gets dirtier. When I start reading some of the stuff, I feel like I need to take a shower. And it's kind of like, as much as it's tearing her down, it's also tearing him down as well as the NFL. And you start thinking, man, these guys in college, man, they're just wild. They're throwing women back and forth between teammates. It's just dirty. And I know football players are human too, and we've all done some things that we're not proud of. I know, like I've said before, my nickname in college was Crazy Mark, and we'll leave it at that. But it's just like, enough is enough. Can we just get this thing over and Thursday night watch New England take on Kansas City and get ready for the weekend and get all of this ugliness behind us?
They're not gonna do it. I bet you the over under when we get the Sunday Night Live show.
Oh yeah. It's going to be the whole Zeke Elliott situation that's in the court. Oh, it's going to be, yeah. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to be pounding that. One thing I will ask in here, we have a lot of new fans that are in here, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys showing up and being part of the Joe B Sports Report. This channel is about talking about football. I don't mind if you talk bad about this Eagles, this Giants, or even if you're an Eagle or Giant fan, talking about my Cowboys. But keep it respectful with the fans that are in here, because it's about football fans getting together, talking football, and having a good time. It's not a trash talking group. It's not FU, bomb, and this, that, and the other stuff. And unfortunately, I've been talking with Law, and I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of the stuff. But if we do get a lot of that, I will ban you from the show, because this is not what that is. We got enough of that going on in the world. This is going to be a good place for everybody who comes in
here. Yes, indeed, man. That's you laying it down, man. Especially, man, when I'm just saying Odell. I'm not talking about the Giants collectively. I'm just making fun. But you guys can come on my show if you want to and talk about Dez and everybody else. But this is coming back from all you guys were talking about my guy Tony Romo all them years. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
They gave Romo a nickname. I ain't going to even say it,
Yes. Yeah, well, he had plenty of them and stuff. But, that is what it is. But, guys, make sure that you end up subscribing to Law Nation, because Law Nation does a whole lot more stuff than I'll go ahead and give you my opinion on things and like that. And I'll give you kind of like that instant update stuff. But Law Nation goes through and breaks things down, gives you the highlights of films and stuff like that. Now, he's in the process of moving closer to be with our Dallas Cowboys. So he's probably going to be behind for a little bit. But as the season gets on the next couple of weeks, he's going to be blasting that stuff out there. So make sure you show Law Nation plenty of support, plenty of love out there, as well as Shango. We're going to hopefully have Shango on the show here a couple of times too in the future, as well as all the other YouTubers, because every one of these guys comes out here. We're not getting paid, or if we are, not much. We come out here because we want to discuss our team, and it takes a lot of work and stuff. So appreciate the people that are out there and help them out and support them and things. So, Law, as always, this has got to be the fastest hour of my day every time I do a live stream. It's already 10 o'clock. You get the final words tonight, man.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it, man. I want everybody to be live and ready Sunday night. You guys know what it's going to be, 31-14. I put it on wax. That's my time, man. I thank you guys for yours. Y'all have a good day, and a better tomorrow. Salute.
All right. And with that, we are getting ready to get out of here. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to be on the road, so be sure to follow along. I'm going to be doing some really nice special stuff that's kind of unexpected, but it's going to be the way to kick off the NFL season. And as always, guys, make sure you look out for our friends and stuff that are down in Houston. And if you can give, if you can help out, donate blood, $10 here, text or whatever, that situation, although the cameras are beginning to fade and stop covering that, that's going to be a long-term recovery, and they're going to need all of us to help out. So, guys, get ready for some football. I'm Mark Holmes. That's Law Nation, and that's Cowboy Joe Boo. And we thank you guys for joining us here tonight.